Good morning, it's Jeff Hale. I'm hoping to make another video that will be helpful to you. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm here with my nice big fat cup of hot coffee, and I'm gonna go ahead and start this video. So about 5 years ago, I bought a new deer rifle, and I wound up getting a Tikka 7mm mag with the laminated stock and the stainless barrel. And I went out and shot it, and I was so impressed with it that I purchased my son. I think at that age he was 16. Maybe 15, I purchased him a Tikka 270 in synthetic stock and stainless barrel. And that's, kid's a spoiled brat to have a gun that nice at that age. But anyway, I didn't have a rifle that nice. But anyway, it was, I'm glad I did, because it turned out to be a really good investment, and he'll have that gun for the rest of his life, and he'll be able to harvest food for a long time with it. Anyway, let's break it down. So when I got these, rifles, I was struggling a little bit, because I would go online and I was trying to work up a load form. I'd use some factory ammunition, and I got 1.25 MOA, I got 1 MOA, I got 0.9 MOA, but it wasn't quite as exact as I would like. And I had just bought a Zeiss HD Conquest 3 by 15 by 50 scope with the Rapid Z ballistic drop reticles. And the Rapid Z goes out to 600 yards in the ballistic drop. I'm never going to shoot at an animal over 400 yards, and 300 yards is what I practice at. 200 and 300 yards is what I practice at, and that's just what I'm personally comfortable with. I'm not, and I know guys can do it, and it's awesome, but I'm personally not interested in shooting at a deer that's 1,200 yards away. That's a different sport, and I'm interested in getting close as I can, putting the animal down humanely and harvesting the meat. And I know there's guys and gals who can do that at much longer distances than me, but this is what I'm comfortable at. So anyway, I was online and I was wishing, wow, maybe there's a starting place that somebody who has a Tikka 270 or who has a Tikka 7mm mag has already done some of this work. I couldn't find anything. So I did tons and tons and tons of trial and error, and that's part of the work of making a load. But I thought today, you know what, if I could give some folks who have Tikka 270s or Tikka 7mm mags a head start and have them jump over some of that frustration I went through, then maybe this video will be of help to you. So let's take a look at the rounds. So here's the two rounds. This is the 7mm mag. This is the Winchester 270 Winchester. And this is what my son shoots. This is what I shoot. And so let's go ahead and first talk about the 270. So this particular round, we wound up coming to the conclusion of using Winchester brass, but we've also used some other kinds of brass. We wound up using CCI primers, just regular CCI primers. These say Magnum, but we weren't using the Magnum ones. We just used the large rifle primers, CCI. And for powder, we've settled on the H4831. And we settled on the H4831 for not just the 270, but also the 7mm mag, also my 30-06. And there's a couple reasons for that. The H4831 is inexpensive. It's readily available. You can find it easily. It's not like Retumbo or some of these other ones where you're having to sell your soul in order to get a pound of it, and you have to wait 6 months to find it. You can find this stuff anywhere. It's also old school and proven, and there's tons of data on it. And finally, one of the biggest reasons I like it is because it's super temperature stable, whereas some of these newer hot shot powders, while they can go extreme velocities, they're temperature sensitive. And so that means if you sight your rifle in it at 50 degrees Fahrenheit and you hunt in sub-zero weather, or you sight your rifle in 100-degree weather and then you're hunting in 32-degree weather, there can be significant velocity changes, so much so that it changes your point of impact. This is super temperature stable. You're gonna get like a plus or minus difference of less than 10 feet per second at say 100 degrees versus 0 degrees. It's just a super temperature stable. So that's another reason I picked it. So availability, price, stability, and if you look on here, you can, it says here 25-06 Remington, very popular round. 270 Winchester, very popular. 30-06, very popular. 7mm mag, very popular. 30-06 and 300 Win mag. Like, what else do you want? This is the one powder do it all. So we settled on that. And so for Max and his round that we developed, we wound up taking it and chronographing it, and the velocity that we're getting out of this particular round that I'm going to share with you is about 2,950, so 2,950 feet per second. Okay, and now, again, before I get into this, this is just what worked for us, and it's a starting point. I'm not recommending you do this for your gun, but I do want to say everything I'm going to share with you today is well below maximum pressures for these rounds from the Hornady loading manual. We are not running these things hot at all. And you know, you can buy factory ammunition where the 270 is well over 3,000 feet per second, and you can load these things up to 3,200 feet per second, and you can take these guys with 7mm mag, and they're running these things at 3,000, 3,300 feet per second. The problem is who cares if you lose accuracy, and if you're not gaining that much, and you're only going to hunt to, I mean, it's to have the difference in velocity. At 400 or 500 yards, which would be the maximum that you're going to hunt at for most people, is negligible. All this stuff, you know, matters once you start getting out to 800, 900, 1,000 yards. Again, that's not the kind of hunting I do. So, Max's round, we wound up using CCI primer, Winchester brass. The bullet is the Hornady Interlock, 130 grain soft point. And I will show you pictures of 3 deer that were shot with this bullet, that all, actually 4 deer that were shot with this bullet, where they all dropped and died. And of course, there's a lot involved in this. There's shot placement, there's distance. But 2 of those deer I'll show you on the video were shot by my son. One was a great big mule deer, and he shot that at 160 yards uphill, and it fell and died right where he hit it immediately. The other deer he shot was a big blacktail, fork blacktail at 60 yards. Fell down and died right there, quick. Those were shoulder shots, or high shoulder shots. So we know about the primer, we know about the brass, we know about the bullet. The powder that worked best for us, the amount of H4831 for Max's was 59.5 grains of H4831. That's what worked for us. And again, I would not start at 59.5. I would start lower and work my way up in half grain increments. But that's what worked. All right. So CCI primer, Winchester brass, Hornady interlocked soft point, 130 grains, 59.5 grains of H4831, and the overall length that we had him running at was about 3.235. That was our overall length. The overall length from the base to the tip of the bullet. And why that matters is it's because for that particular Tikka rifle and how it chambers, the distance from the tip of the bullet to where it first engages the rifling or the lands is important. Some guns shoot better with it jammed up in the lands. Some guns shoot better, you know, like 10,000ths of an inch off the lands, some further. This particular round has turned out to be sub-minute of angle and very accurate. So it's a good place to start. And again, I'm not recommending you do this. This is just what's worked for us. Okay, so that was the 270. I wish I had that information before I started trying to work up a load. 7mm mag. Okay, 7mm mag. I've shot 3 or 4 deer with it. I've shot a whitetail at 270 yards. I've shot 2 big whitetails at about 60 yards offhand. And actually I think that's it. I've shot 3 whitetails with this. I haven't shot a muley with it yet, and I haven't shot a blacktail with it yet, but it's performed very well on these. On 2 of the whitetails I shot were great big bodied deer. One of them was 185 pounds live weight, which is a big whitetail. Again, they were high shoulder shots. So let's talk about this. So if you have a Tikka 7mm mag, I've been using Normandy brass or Winchester brass. I've been using the CCI primers that are large rifle primers, but they're Magnum. For powder, I've been using 66.8 grains of H4831. My velocity, repeatable velocity through a chronograph with this is about 2,920, so 2,920 feet per second. And again, that's not screaming fast. It's really fast, but it's not fast compared to what some guys are loading them. But I don't care because my accuracy is really, really good. And you'll see, I'll show a picture of on this video of the 3-shot pattern, and you'll see that it's almost half an inch minute of angle. And I had played around with other bullets, and I had like 0.7 minute of angle, 0.9 minute of angle, but with this bullet, which you're probably wondering, what's that bullet? Well, the bullet is a Nosler AccuBond, right? And I've tried several other bullets, but as far as performance on game, as far as accuracy, and being able to expand fast enough, but not so much that you're not going to get good penetration, that you're going to be able to hit bone and it'll break. This is the bullet. I've been super happy with it. I have several friends who use this bullet who've also had amazing luck with it. Anyway, this is the 160 grain Nosler AccuBond in .284 Spitzer, which is a 7mm Magnum bullet. Okay, so the last thing I want to tell you is the complete overall length, cartridge overall length for this bullet. This round was 3.29 to 3.295, right in that window is where I tried to keep it, and I've gotten excellent accuracy. So anyway, hopefully that video helped you. I wish that information was out there as a starting point for me. So if you have Tikka rifles, 270 or 7mm mag, hopefully this is a good starting place for you. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them after you watch the video. Go ahead and pose your questions to me, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Again, I want to reiterate: start at low powder amounts when you're working up a load. Incrementally go up small, quarter of a grain, half grain increments until you work up and make sure it's right for your rifle. Even if you have a 7mm mag that's in Tikka, or even if you have a Tikka 270, it could shoot different. It could have different characteristics, but I do believe that you're going to be able to get into the ballpark a lot faster and customize it for your rifle. Okay, thanks for listening today. Have a great weekend.